Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dusted on Gaming with a episode 2, match number 1 of Burn here in Modern, much like Nikachu MTG. Just a friendly reminder, we're doing day-by-day videos of various things such as Burn, Arclight Phoenix, Grixis Shadow, and Control here in Modern. Friendly reminder, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. Alright, so this is a deck by FA Advisor 82 that recently 5-0'd, using both Light Up the Stage and Skewer the Critics. It is a Rakdos build. It's basically mono red, splashing Bump of the Night in the main deck, along with Fatal Push and Collective Brutality in the sideboard. So you got your usual Goblin God, Grim Lavamancer, Monastery Swiftspear, Eidolon the Great Revel. You got Lava Spikes, Bump of the Night, Lightning Bolt, a couple Searing Blazes, some Rift Bolts, and Light Up the Stage and Skewer the Critics. So kind of a spread out, trying to get as many one-drop spells into the deck as possible to get advantage of Light Up the Stage and Bump of the Night, as well as Skewer the Critics. Sideboard, a couple Fatal Pushes for some of the more difficult to answer creatures, things like Death Shadow, Tarmogoyf, Thought-Knot Seer. Collective Brutality comes in against various matchups, can be decent in the Burn Mirror, as well as against controlling decks. Smash to Smithereens comes in against anything with artifacts in it, from Affinity to Hardened Scales to Lantern to the War decks. Searing Blaze comes in against creature decks. Searing Blood likewise comes in against smaller creature decks. And Exquisite Firecraft comes in against anything with control elements or counter spells with things like Grixis Death Shadow. That said, let's hop into a league for match numero uno with Rakdos Burn, and our second episode overall, our last episode. Feel free to take a look, was with Gruul Burn. Deck was a little bit underwhelming, but did have some interesting elements to it, with Bomat Courier and Atarka's Command alongside Skewer the Critics. So we'll see how this one goes. This one's a little bit lower to the ground, but still has quite a bit of interactive elements for creatures. 4 Eidolons in the main deck. It does bypass things like Skullcrack, so that's something to note. And then Collective Brutality is kind of our surrogate Lightning Helix slash Sovereign's Bite that we've run in some of our previous iterations of Rakdos. So, hope everyone's enjoying the new Burn decks in Modern. Deck is very sweet, but does have some issues trying to figure out what the best build for Skewer the Critics is. Hope everyone is enjoying their FNM tonight. We're recording this particular episode on a Friday night. So our last episode with Gruul went up tonight on the channel. It was against Affinity, so having Destructive Revelry against Affinity was quite nice, These lists have been popping up. A lot of people have been talking about the Theorycraft of Bump of the Night to pair up alongside all the various one-mana spells with Skewer the Critics, and people were rather starting quickly to realize that Light Up the Stage is a particularly broken card in this deck archetype. Being able to cast this and then, basically draw 2 until your next turn. You can play fetch lands, you can play Rift Bolts, you can do, well, Rift Bolt's a little bit awkward because it specifically says suspend this from your hand. Only a couple copies of Searing Blaze can be dangerous in certain matchups, not having it, but in other matchups it's quite nice not having dead cards. So, here we go. Okay, we're going to have to mulligan a no-lander here. So, this hand is quite nice. Yeah, I think I'm in the market for a bunch of Monastery Swiftspears. Force our opponent to have a Fatal Push here. If they do, they do. See if they fetch here. They have take a Blooming Marsh. Looks like they might have a Fatal Push here. Yep, it's unfortunate. Maybe we should allow on Swiftspear specifically for that reason. You have a Tarmogoyf to follow up. Scavenging Ooze, that one's annoying. Bump in the Night doesn't really do anything here. Swiftspear go. Pass the turn. opponent playing Rock has a pretty good start for their deck archetype. Acquisition. Takes a Swift Spear, gets to grow their Ooze to a 4/4, which is extremely annoying. Drop our opponent to 9 here. If they have a Kalitas here, we could be in a lot of trouble. 3-color Lingering Souls? Feels like this means Lingering Souls are on the way. Soon our opponent's just gonna chump. Yep. Any burn spell off the top should be lethal here. This is a collective brutality, we're in a lot of trouble. Of course it is. Draws to get us out of this situation, so up against Abzan, we're definitely interested in fatal pushes here. Don't think this is a brutality matchup. Could bring brutalities to answer their spells, but that seems a little risky. I think it's just 2 pushes for 2 Lavamancers here. This hand's pretty reasonable. Abzan lists look a lot like what Reed Duke was playing last time at the Worcestershire Open. Grab Blood Crypt here. So the biggest problem with Burn is, yeah, more people are playing it, but the relative power of the deck still hasn't changed a ton here. So do this. Want to get the light up the stage out of our hand here. Felt like they had a fatal push the whole way here. Next turn we get to play a land and a couple of spells. Inquisition here, not quite as good. Looks like our opponent might have kept a one-lander. Scry a card to the top and then... Close to a turn 3 kill. Alright, so we're at least going to get to a game 3 here. So... Thermogoifa. See if we can find any Abzan lists that have done well, yeah. The Rock, Junda Shadow, a couple Abzan lists. Things like Courser. We have a Kalitas in the main. Decks are definitely a collection of random stuff. Damning Sphere, Stony Silence, Fulminator Mage, Damnation, Missile Vital Force. This particular build had Siege Rhinos. Excuse me. Lord of the Ground one has Tarmogoyfs, Oozes, Flares, and Confidants. Well, doesn't really change the fact of what I want in this matchup. This hand's a little awkward. Definitely keeping it. It's got a lot of 1-mana plays here. Traverse. Alright. Probably gonna get Brutality'd here, would be my guess. I mean, if we draw lands, we currently have enough burn in hand to just kill our opponent, but whatevs. No reason to play anything till post-combat. Our land. Guts and Abrupt Decay. Let's get the Bump in the Night out of our hand. Let's get the Skewer the Critics out of our hand. Opponent, maybe with a Liliana here would be annoying. Oh, Liliana the Last Hope, I don't remotely care about. Bump the Night. Skewer the Critics. Traverse, grab a basic land, sure. Guess you get to play Lingering Souls here. Oh, Night of Autumn, that one's annoying. Alright, hopefully our opponent doesn't have another Knight of Autumn here. Don't be another Knight of Autumn. Please just be Lingering Souls. Okay. That's perfectly acceptable. Alright, so got there in match number 1 against Abzan. Haven't played a ton against Abzan lately. It's been mostly Rock and Jund we've seen, so quite interesting that we ran into the Abzan list as opposed to Rock, but I think we can thank Mr. One Reed Duke for playing that at the Worcestershire Sauce Open here in the SCG Open last weekend. So this has been us for Dusted on Gaming with match number 1 of episode 2 here with Rakdos Burn in Modern. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Burn content.